you're down a game, you're going to make some adjustments, and we'll find out what those adjustments are.
Those adjustments so far are not there, right?
No,
because
correct. Earth Spirit Puck, IO Monkey King.
Yeah.
Same thing. And
DP
same opener.
Yep.
Same opener.
If there's a Pango now, we're good. I mean, is this a good sign or a bad sign? Because both of these teams are drafting this like rapidly. Like there's no breaks, there's no hesitation. This is the first hesitation that we really see here from Thunder Predator. Do they want to go again for the Frank Pango?
They might first to Wind Ranger.
They might, yeah.
If they want it, they have
get
to.
banned out.
I feel like it's 100% getting banned if they don't pick it after last game. That's the adjustment. But they're going to go Pango.
They go with the Pango. Because probably you have replacements for the Wind Ranger. Pango is a different sort of a beast, a little bit harder to replace on that offlane. It just does way too much. I value the hero very,
and so
very highly.
much with very little, because they often sacrifice Frank's game to secure Leo Styles mid lane and MNZ's game. So having a hero like Pango that can do a lot with low farm is perfect for them.
And it is a hero that you can sack. It's one of those. You creep skip a little bit, and then if he has a good start and if the lane is good, then you buy that Orb of Corrosion and you dominate it. If not, you can sack him and rotate mid.
How much do you think Mad, as a coach, can still do his coaching job while also playing? Is that a thing? Like, because you mentioned it previous panel, Lizard, he was not performing to his top standards.
Yep.
So how much can he actually? Because how much can you actually read the game from that position as well? He's playing position 4. He can't really see the game with the helicopter view that you would if you're a coach.
Yeah.
It depends what he was doing as a coach as well. We've seen different players transition. I mean, Kaya said transition into being a player quite well. So
True.
From the coaching position, it all depends on how they delegate their responsibilities.
But
right?
even in those situations, like let's say the OG example, they then brought in a coach. They brought in soccer. I think it's always important to have that outside perspective, because when you're playing the game, you kind of have your biases about how the game went based on being in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that outside neutral perspective can be really important.
Yeah, and just a curveball when it comes to the Chinese region, Elephant lost. Like they lost, they're not here, right?
Yes.
So, and they were the superstar team. Because of that, they're bringing in a coach, ROTK is joining them. So, like you said, it doesn't matter how skilled you are. Even a team of superstars such as them, they need that outside view. They need a second opinion.
Someone to guide them. Also, in most of the Chinese teams, most of the top tier Chinese teams anyway, the coach is doing all the drafting work as well.
Mad looked like he was coaching that last game a couple of times, like he wasn't truly in. super
He wasn't playing?
He wasn't really playing, he was just looking over his shoulder. What are you doing?
Sometimes, you know, do you ever catch yourself, you're looking at a different player, you're pinging him out for something that he's not doing right, and you die meanwhile while
I
doing
think that says a lot about the way you play Dota, Lizard.
I've had I've seen this. I've seen this happen not only to me. You know, you're looking at the team fight, suddenly you're diving a tier 2 on the other side. Not on this level, but
it shouldn't happen on this level. Big respect ban there, by the way, from Team Aster. They managed to ban out the anti-mage. We said it, of course, on Minos' hands. And I mean, it worked out well, but at the same time, he could have had a lot of different cores, I think, and done his job well with it as well.
The anti-mage was a really good pick because of the ulti versus Timbersaw versus Storm, and just gave them that hard carry potential later on in the game. It did look scary a couple of times, so I understand the respect ban. They're not really deviating from the plan way too much on Aster, Ursa, and Batrider protecting the Timber. And on Thunder Predator, it's Abaddon once again a little bit sooner. Bloodseeker versus the Pango, right?
Do you remember their last ban last time?
Yep.
This time Spectre.
Last time for Aster, it was Oracle Ursa Bat, and this time the Anti-Mage. And for Thunder Predator, it was Juggernaut Queen of Pain and Bloodseeker.
Oh, okay. They let the Queen of Pain through this time.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind maybe seeing Team Aster snatch that. It pretty much does not allow Thunder Predator to go for Wind Ranger afterwards, because the matchup is a little bit difficult, and the Tusk won't have as much fun rotating on White Album. So I wouldn't mind seeing that.
We're going back for the Lion first. He wants a do-over. Actually, they want a do-over in general.
Yep, every pick so far from Team Aster is
yeah, and both Troll and Storm still in the pool, so Thunder Predator is not worried about going up against the same lineup, even if they don't have the anti-mage.
I think they know they can use that last pick of the draft to make sure they have a mid lane advantage. They're going to be, they already have the 4 position that roams. If Aster again is running support line Death Prophet, neither of those heroes helps mid lane the same way a Tusk can. Neither of those heroes secures runes as well as a Tusk can.
A Lion can be sometimes pretty good versus Tusk, but you need to be there before he is. And then you just spike on top of the snowball and you turn that gank upside down. But the problem is, Moose, he just rotates way too well. You don't see him, and by the time you TP, you're mostly just stealing the experience, and that's it.
It feels like enemy mid laners are never getting a single power rune when Moose is in the game.
We got another Phoenix coming out. We saw it work out very well previous game, so no surprise.
Didn't they ban out Jug to the last game when they took Phoenix? They did, right?
They did.
So this time around, they take the Jug and the Phoenix.
So heroes that are still in the pool that were fourth phase or last phase banned, third phase banned last time around. The Invoker, the Razor, and the Weaver. But they go for the Troll again. Okay, sure. I mean, you know, they believe that their draft was not the problem. Or if it was the anti-mage that was the problem.
Yeah, and, you know, AM, once it got to late game, was able to carry and did have really good matchups against two cores, but we actually saw, I feel like that game would have been easier for Thunder Predator if Anti-Mage was just a better hero. It's not a good hero in the current patch.
Yeah.
It had to be the perfect AM game, and even then, it wasn't clear-cut.
Yep. Even then, the game stretched for quite a long while, and they have to itemize properly. Sometimes, when you don't have the perfect draft, you itemize accordingly to fill in those gaps. And they definitely did that with an E-Blade, with a Wind Waker, with the Aeon Discs. Team Aster banning out that Razor, OD, both heroes extremely good versus Troll and Timber, respectively. So.
And Storm still removed as well.
Yeah, Quap and Storm versus White Album.
So what is White Album going to play instead? That's the question. He could, of course, still play the Death Prophet, so there is that curveball, and that will be the case as Oracle will be the hero picked up last. And I really hope they're not going to put Lion or Oracle mid instead.
No.
Their last game,
hopefully
potentially.
This might be where... this is really nice, because Thunder Predator themselves usually have played like a Quap mid against Death Prophet, and that's a hero they banned.
That's banned,
yeah, they banned it themselves to prevent White Album.
Yeah, there are still some heroes that work well against Death Prophet, ranged heroes.
What about the Void Spirit that has been top pick for so many teams? We've seen it ignored this series altogether.
It's not the greatest laner versus Death Prophet, but it's nice, and it's good to have a backline jumper versus Oracle. I wouldn't mind it. They can go with even an SF that I've seen picked versus that Prophet that works really well if they play it, and they do play. They first picked it even in one of their games.
But
and it's the SF into a lineup with no supports that are good gank like roamers. They're not against the Earth Spirit, the Tusk. So
and here as well, right? Like Lion and Oracle. Why not? It's a decent option. Heroes that also work well versus that Prophet, Zeus. Alina is an option if you really want to go that way. There you go.
Nice, Why is Lina a good option?
It's all about the laning stage, pretty much. It's a hero that fares well versus that Prophet. There aren't many at the moment. And it's also a hero that can help you burst down the Timber Saw. So you're kind of dealing with two problems at the same time.
Okay. Is it enough to make you think that this will be a 2-0? Some hesitation there.
I still have.
Absolutely.
I still have.
I think Thunder Predator, the way they played Dota last game was amazing. They controlled the early to mid game so well, and I think this Lina pick it works great for them. It fits their draft. It deals with what Aster picked. So Thunder Predator for me.
I still like Aster's draft more, but I can't any longer. Like I went versus Thunder Predator already. I was wrong, proven wrong. So I'm going to switch up, and
he jumped ship.
Join the SA side. Good. Get on board. SA Dota is it's going places.
I will also go for Thunder Predator. I am very curious though. We talk about the mid lane a lot. I want to know when we see Lina go up against the Death Prophet, how much are there going to be rotations, and how much does it matter? How much does Lina need a rotation against a Death Prophet, and vice versa? Does Death Prophet need rotations against a Lina?
It doesn't need them, but I think he's going to get them on Lina. That's just how it works. They're going to not care about
But if we know how that works, and Aster know how that works.
I think they need to adjust, right?
Yeah, I think Aster need to do a good job contesting runes. They can't let Lina get like haste runes and DDs and constantly sustain the mid lane with rune control.
Hi, this is Lorenzo from Dota Pro Games. On this channel, every day, we upload Dota games from pros like Arteezy, Paparazzi, Miracle, and many more. If you want to play like them and understand their secrets, consider subscribing to this channel. You will increase MMR in no time. Also, liking this video is free and will help me bring you more and more content. Enjoy the game. Thanks.
Series between Thunder Predator and Aster, and Black, would you believe it, another 5-man smoke straight off the bat to start us off with this game to right into the dive jungle.
Here. Yeah, but it looks like he's just going to be safe at the tower. And we have seen Matt type in all chat, the god of SA. That's exactly how it looks like right now. Thunder Predator popping off, man. Was on nobody's radar. They've been doing so well throughout this entire, well, tournament. And yeah, let's see if they can take it 2-0 or not.
One thing that kind of concerns me, though, at least for Aster, they went for the exact same draft, except they got an Oracle now. So Aster literally drafting the exact same thing, maybe just assuming that, you know, maybe they played it wrong, maybe just a few misplays kind of screwed it up. Do you think this draft fits against what Thunder Predators got going?
It's a good draft. This time it's a DP middle paired up with an Oracle, which is one of the deadliest combinations in Dota. But I really like the response here from Thunder Predator. With the Lina middle, we have seen, I think, 1 or 2 Linas in the mid lane absolutely take over the game. And Lina destroys Death Prophet in lane. So it's one of the best answers they could have possibly picked. And especially together with the Tusk, I feel like there's going to be a lot of action in the mid lane. And Aster will have to respond promptly and appropriately, because otherwise this DP is going to be in trouble.
Leo is a very strong Lina player to boot, so it's definitely going to be a very hard time for White Album. Of course, White Album last game was having a pretty good game for himself after the initial laning stage, but again, just a couple mistakes and it all went downhill. Like you said, this lane not going to be very easy, already taking quite a bit of damage. It does seem like he's probably going to have to bring some more regen out for himself on this DP. Already starting off with the salve, but I feel like he might just need a little bit more. I mean, we're only at level 1 and he's almost through that HP pool. I have to commit the salve very soon.
Yeah, probably will have to buy like another salve, a bottle, maybe a bunch of tangos. It's really just all about out-sustaining the Harris damage of Lina here. And Moose doing a very good job pulling the creep wave here. It's quite low though, so Lanham could potentially Harris him out of there. Make sure that the creeps run into the tower. Matt on that line.
Bot lane. Minos, he's gonna go for a spin. Secure some CS. He wasn't actually thinking he could kill anyone. Meanwhile, top Moose dropping very low, but he does get his own salve off, and Lanham has been very good at contesting this creep pool from Moose. Courier gonna go down. Frank just falling asleep at the wheel there, does end up paying for it.
He dropped the Orb of Venom though for the Tusk to pick up, so he will be delivering that to him shortly. Well played there by him. Making the best out of a bad situation.
He was actually pretty sick. I haven't seen that in a very long time. So nice reactions there from Frank. There you go. He'll bring over the Orb of Venom.
Be careful
to
here.
Bot lane, a lot of damage. Out onto Mad. Icarus Dive does actually connect, but they aren't going to make the chase. Mad is going to be just left on 70 HP, but he'll be alive. He's going to be very careful though. He has absolutely no regen on him. Just that ring of regen.
The lanes once more are going to be quite tough though, other than the mid lane. I think Aster should be winning both side lanes quite easily. Like Troll absolutely beats Pangoli. We can see it in the CS2. Pango only sitting at 3, and Timbersaw doesn't really get Harris down here at all.
Moose, he was getting aggressive there with the tag team. Swashbuckle was out by Frank. Spot lane, XXS. Still having a decent enough time, 15 and 4 now, but Minos, he always seems to find the farm regardless of his matchup. I guess the Timber's not too bad anyway, but it's slightly concerning here for XXS, just trying to pressure Minos out and he just never seems to leave. He's always just back at that creep wave. Meanwhile, mid, Leo, dropping pretty low in HP himself, but he's going to have his salve. He'll be just fine.
DP's doing very well for himself with White Album. Low skirmish here, Phoenix versus Lion, but shouldn't be... Yep, nothing comes of it. I'm surprised that he's doing this well, to be honest, in his DP. It's usually quite Lina favored, but he's even leading in CS.
It is impressive from White Album. You haven't been talking to me all day about how broken this DP hero is. So I guess even in this kind of matchup, White Album, he just proves it again. Very strong indeed.
Yeah, DP is definitely one of the big patch heroes. Minos struggling quite a bit now. We'll have his healing ward soonish. So we'll be able to get back up to full health once he hits level 4. And Bottle coming out for Lina now.
What a hunk, fire.
Monet up at that top side is having a real nice time, and you kind of talk about the troll. He doesn't really lose lanes at all. Very, very rare for Monet to lose lanes on this hero, but well, bot lane Minos still playing with fire, it seems like. XXS sticking around. They aren't going to be able to kill him with a spin anyway.
Great blows here. Like, he doesn't care at all about getting righted by the Juggernaut. It just kind of feels like a bad trade for the Jug overall. They should never be able to kill this Timber Saw. The Timber Chain, of course, on a very low cooldown. I'm just very worried about his Pangolier once more here. Frank having another very rough laning phase. More than getting doubled up by the
It just didn't seem to matter last game, though, with Frank.
It didn't, but Lina was absolutely crushing the game. I mean, the Wind Ranger was absolutely crushing the game. Oh, getting low on the Phoenix, making it out okay, though. And this game, the Lina doesn't seem to be even winning his lanes, so there will be a lot more pressure on Frank this time around. And I don't know if he can live up to it with the little farm and experience he's getting right now.
See, certainly a very tough time already for Thunder Predator. Aster looking good. Mad and Lan M have shown up in the mid lane. Looks like they're both going to try and soak XP in this mid lane as White Album, he does disappear for a bit. He just wanted to go all the way back to the fountain. The support's kind of just sharing a lane for a bit, and now they'll leave, but actually Minos, lane very low. Meanwhile, top, they are going to make the dive in onto Monet. They're going to try and get this troll down. Whirling axes are there, but it will not be enough. MJZ able to take the kill. Meanwhile, mid, they are chasing down Leo. Does take the Crypt Swarm, but is going to be just fine. Run his way back to the fountain.
Lanham on the prowl here. One double new combination. He could potentially get the kill here. And he finds him.
Trying. Laguna committed. Leo going to try and juke out of the tree line. Lanham, can he really find him? Not quite.
Oh, he nuked himself.
Oh, Leo. He outplays him, and the tips come out from Moose. Oh, Lanham.
He outplayed him so hard that he
it was worth a try. Monet, top lane again, going to be in danger. Tag team activated, but no hits come in.
Yeah, Troll is a very tough kill. Those whirling axes, of course, blinding up everybody. Minos TP top with like 10% health, but of course has the healing ward, so should be up to full in no time. And he just wants to evacuate the bottom lane immediately. Like, you can't lane against this Timber Saw anymore. White Album also rotating immediately with that exorcism to get the tower down, open up the map. Land in trouble here again.
Mid lane. Yep, Light Strike Array does land with the snowball follow-up. They do get another.
He just respawned, man.
On that Oracle.
To live or not to live. Lanham's choice is no life today.
No life
Playing
today
very
indeed.
aggressively here in the Oracle. Here's Omni Slash available.
Minos. Yeah, Mad. I believe he spotted him out there for a second. Or maybe not. He ran back in for the creep wave. Minos going to move in from the backside. Mad, he'll get the Hex off. The snowball is in from the right side. Spin. Not going to really reach, but a great shot out to lock Mad in. We'll eventually get him. Moose. He'll take the kill on the Tusk.
Yeah. Good rotation by XXS as well. Just defending the mid tower after taking the bot one. Playing the Timber Saw to full strength right now. He's up at the top with 4k net worth right now. It's a very strong Timber Saw. It's going to be incredibly tough to kill him. Still doesn't have the hood though. So magic damage is still a good answer to him. As I say that, the cloak is flying in already. So he's going to be very tanky here.
Yeah, they're trying to force in that mid lane. White Album doesn't have the ulti up. Thunder Predator, they're just kind of invading the Dire jungle for now, but it is a bit too early for that. They'll head back as XXS shows up, but the chain's off the mark, and now the tag team's going to be activated. Minos, he still has the Omni, but doesn't have the mana for it. Now he does and will commit it immediately. It's not going to be that much damage, but it might just be enough with the control from Frank. But no, the Earth Spike, Mad will buy enough time for XXS to get out of there. Frank, he wants to keep going. Shards out, Moose helping. Mad will give his life away, but XXS does survive.
I'm a little bit surprised that Frank chose to end his Rolling Thunder a bit prematurely. I think he could have at least gotten one, if not two more stuns there on him. Maybe he thought they have enough burst damage, but gets away on the Timber Saw here. 5-0, but the gold lead still slightly in favor of Aster. So getting better out of the lanes for sure.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Monet.
And their worth lead moving their way now, Thunder Predator.
Yep, after taking the top
Still a
tower.
bit of catching up to do.
Yeah. They're going for the same items again. Both carries are going for the Battle Fury. Probably pretty mirrored item builds again. Lina, we haven't seen too much action from him yet. Oh, Timber Saw playing a little bit aggressive here, but
Radiant's middle tower
nothing to come off it.
Moose. Watson Zen gonna fly out. Lan M hold him down. Monet get his way in. Moose, nice shots.
Nice.
TP away. Tips out to Lan M. Lan M just having no mercy today from Moose.
Yeah, Lanham looking a little bit flustered here after that mid dive. Made a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes. Pangolier only sitting at level 6. Like, he's having, as we said, another very rough game, but his supports are having a great game. Phoenix sitting at 3k net worth already, and Tusk also doing very well for himself.
Certainly making up for that mid laner, at least for now. Buying plenty of time for Leo style. Ball in again. Frank is staring down Monet on that troll. And now you're going to head over. Frank can't really kill him himself, but he's going to actually pop the Rolling Thunder. In this small area, he's going to have a lot of control. Now the snowball in from the low ground. Can they really kill him off? No, he gets the battle trance in time.
Oh,
now Frank is the one that is in danger. Sunray, swashbuckle out, Monet gets the false promise. Lan M, he'll play no games. Make sure the troll does survive.
middle tower is under attack.
Little
Frank,
unfortunate
had
that
he
the
not got
Tusk
him
ended
stuck
up
in
on
that
the low
corner?
ground. Yeah. Was unlucky. Pretty unfortunate here for the Thunder Predator side, but still, you know, just keeping the pressure up, keeping them on their toes, forcing Oracle ult. Oh, Egg committed as
Egg
well.
committed, Shard
Good
to
block.
block the way he cannot get out. The Egg still doing damage. Monet, he's not going to get stunned, but he has no way of surviving with Battle Trance, but Mad will help him with the Earth Spike. Moose, I'm not sure why Lan M keeps getting tipped by Moose, but he'll get another one.
Yep, as we said, mental warfare, very important in Dota. Just keep up the mental pain as well as the physical pain. Now up 2k gold here. Lina and Juggernaut are getting very rich. Complete free farm on both of them while they're pressuring the troll quite a bit. So the Battle Fury timing is going to be a lot better here for the Juggernaut. Just needing a Void Stone at this point.
Aster gonna try it to Frank.
Middle tower is under attack.
Mad looking for that stun, but he's not going to be able to get it. Leo, meanwhile, has been pushing in that mid-tier 1 tower quite effectively. He's just been allowed to right-click it. XXS, he's around. He does use himself through the snowball. Light Strike Array is out with the Walrus Punch, but they have nowhere near enough damage. Now Moo's going to try and find his way out of this situation, but there is no way out. Aster, with the rotations, do at least get something for their trouble. And even bot lane, Monet ends up killing off that Phoenix.
Yeah, a little bit over-aggressive here. Phoenix getting caught out of position. 2 very good kills. This should lead to a mid-tower probably, which they desperately need here. Aster got to open up the map a little bit more. Yeah, pop Nexus is important as well. Rolling Thunder though.
Rolling Thunder. Mad going to be targeted on the Lion. Lan M trying to save the day with the BO3, but now he's being stunned up by Frank. They're going to make sure the Oracle just gets blown up by the Laguna Blade. Aminos, who do you want to aim? He's got the Omni, he's got the spin. Just want to use it on XXS, of course. As long as they hold that mid-tier 1, it seems the Thunder Predator are going to be pretty satisfied.
Yeah, that's all they came to do. They just want to make sure that Juggernaut has a safe triangle to farm in, and Troll Still 800 gold away from his Battlefield, while Juggernaut already has his on a very good way to a Yasha timing here as well. Looking pretty decent for Thunder Predator so far.
Nice little swipe there from Leo Style. Make sure he does take the Arcane Rune for himself. So things just going swimmingly, it seems, even though the lanes weren't perfect for Thunder Predator, but they do end up out on top. Like, you look at Minos, his farm, 7.1k. Just 1k ahead of Manet. Manet's still trying to farm up that Battle Fury as we speak. The timing just not going to be quite as fast.
However, the carry-carry matchup goes into favor of Aster again this game. We'll have to see if it makes a difference this game, because last game, it didn't. Like, Thunder Predator just outplayed them from start to finish.
Bottom lane, XXS, right in onto Moose. He's just kind of running around in circles, trying to avoid the damage. And now, straight TP. Oh my goodness, that was a lot of damage.
Nah, calculated.
He does just TP up.
Yeah, I know Moose. He is a 5-head. Like, he could give me the
for his Chad.
No, he knew what 10 times 10 was like instantly. I was like, wow, dude, that's impressive.
What? How?
I don't know, dude. Like, even now, I don't know. I've been Googling for so long, I just can't find the answer.
Crazy.
Insane.
XXS mid lane. MJZ take one whirling death, but he'll be all right. They still want that tier 1 mid. XXS, they're going to focus him down with the Laguna Sunray, everything being thrown out but the kitchen sink. They get the kill. Onto Land M they go, the Yule's out. Minos still has that Omni. A great Earth Spike by Mad, but it is not going to be enough. Thunder Predator just looking like the better team at the moment. 3k net worth lead. And are they heading for a Roshan again? Yes, they are.
They have a lot of damage. Their Pangolier should be a pretty easy Roshan for them, but they're up in 10 seconds. Let's see if they're fast enough here. You can just see the Sun Ray. Like, it's just absolutely eating up the Timbersaw's health. One of the strongest scaling spells in Dota, of course. It deals so much damage. Also, one of the main reasons why we see this Phoenix picked up so regularly. Roshan down. Leo Style picks up the Aegis again.
Mad. Oh, poor Mad. He's had a tough time. Moves will continue to haunt him. Now they'll turn, though, with the finger. They'll take down the Tusk. But there's your Omni Slash right onto White Album. Laguna going to take care of Mad on the Lion. Minos, he didn't get that full duration Omni. The Yules did save White Album. They just want to retreat. Minos actually falling quite low on the jug, but with the spin, he'll be just fine. Aster, they'll get back into the mid-tier 1 tower. Picked up. They're still not going to go down. Onto the Pangolier, Frank, he's dropping low, but he's still going to survive. The Tusk, Shards out, Rolling Thunder being committed. They will not allow Aster.
Yeah.
They just won't let Aster get that mid-tier 1.
Yeah, they want to keep it for as long as possible. Like, it's one of the most important, if not the most important power in Dota, and they're doing a perfect job at protecting it. Even through Exorcism and through all these big teamfight spells that Aster throwing at them. Leo Style still with that Aegis, going into the BKB next. Gonna be a very strong timing for him. At least Troll caught up to the Juggernaut now. So they're pretty much on par when it comes to farm.
It does feel like Minos has just been rather fighting a lot more though than say Monet, who's been really just focused in on just trying to farm up this whole game as top lane. Spin away from Minos, Mad. Stick around, but they aren't confident enough to go back in. Maybe assuming that Thunder Predator's right behind the jug.
Which they are now.
You know, he's on the other side, and now they're coming in. They want to go after XXS. I strike Ray on point. Leo, they have the damage. It's going to be a little bit challenging. Snowball, Shards, everything thrown out with the Sunray and Laguna again. But XXS is still alive. Now they can try to turn.
Well.
On Thunder there, and available XXS onto the high ground. they're posturing, but they're not really willing to engage yet, Aster.
Just trying to get as much farm as possible here. On the troll, he hasn't really been part of any fight for the last like 9 minutes. Just absolutely prioritizing his farm, and he's closing in on that BKB. Now getting his triangle invaded though.
And then Minos and can always just spin away. It's very hard to lock down the jug.
It is. Like it's gonna be very hard to kill him like throughout this entire game. They will need a basher on troll before they can ever really kill him. Potentially a blink dagger on Lion, which is only 700 gold away. So it's gonna be a pretty big power spike for them as well in terms of pickoff. And they're smoking into Thunder Predator here.
Oh, Leo, he ran right into him. They get the Aegis immediately. They get him a second time. Leo very out of position. Is
good
going
egg
to try and
though.
run away. They do drop the egg. Leo style now with the Laguna. They take down XXS. White Album has been stunned. The Omni committed. They will get another. Lan M, of course, will not escape the grip of Moose. Just 3 down instantly.
Out is super hard.
They got the Aegis.
Dual Scepter
that was
not
it.
up on DP. Omni Slash just completely takes down DP from full to 0. And there's just absolutely nothing they can do. They need to troll in the front line with their BKB now. It's just so tough for them to ever start a team fight, really. So much team fight on the Radiant side. Very scary to ever really initiate into.
It's like, who does initiate? Are you kind of relying on Mad here? Like, XXS, he's constantly frontlining for the team, but feels like there's nobody really to just jump in and start the fight for Aster.
I mean, frontlining is good. It's just if you can't keep him there, you know, they'll just run around you in circles and there's nothing you can do about it. Lion chose also to not go for the blink dagger, going to Ether Lens instead, so they really don't have any initiate other than potentially a Timber Saw that goes
Mid
into
lane,
duels.
Lan M,
Oracle.
again by our Tusk. It's a lot of damage. Gonna try and turn and at least kill off Moose. Rolling Thunder onto XXS. Minos, meanwhile, on the high ground, trying to get that Oracle, but now Monet, he's willing to fight with the Battle Trance, right in onto the jug. Maybe they have enough. Minos trying to mantle it off, but it is not going to be enough. Monet does secure the kill. Back on a Moose now. They try for the Tusk. They should get him eventually. Pulls him up. Make sure he can't go anywhere, and they do end up getting 2. But that's probably the first team fight Aster's run successfully here.
Overstaying the welcome here heavily on a Juggernaut, getting punished for it for the first time this game. Good for Aster to finally manage to take down the Juggernaut, who was pulling pretty far ahead of the troll, but with that kill, they're all but even again. It's still a little bit worrisome though, like the DP is stopping to scale a little bit. Dina's out-farming him quite heavily.
The Predator. I'm moving up toward the north. Line being drawn out right around Monet. Massive target, Leo. Light Striker 8, immediate Laguna. No playing around into the Rolling Thunder. BKB though. They're in time from Monet. Frank is going to try and roll his way out. He's him down, trying to punish. Yules is there, but a great shot from Moose. Look at that.
What is that egg though?
That's a Chad Moose move.
That was a very, yeah, it's called a panic egg. The peg. Very popular in high MMR games. A lot of people like to throw out the pegs.
Pegs are good.
Oh, pegs are alright, yeah.
Shards, just... The shards are always on point though, right? Like, just blocking that pathway, not allowing them to come through. Yeah, the egg was unnecessary,
but really good job. He's one of the best task players in SA, if not the best.
I have to agree.
What are they? So the thing is, they're not really building into initiation items still on this Dire side. Like, the only way they really kill people is if Thunder Predator chooses to run into them. Like, they can't really be the aggressor this game, which is a pretty big problem. Like, if you can never start fights on your terms, it's gonna be very hard to win this game ultimately. Lion is now still not building into a blink dagger. going into 4-step next. Lane moves to ping in.
Snowball right onto Monet again. He does have his BKB ready to go. In fact, they will turn around with the finger. They'll get the task. Minos to keep going. XXS be able to chamber. Now the Rolling Thunder. Frank, he wants to go in. They'll focus down Mad first. The Lion, one of the easier pickoffs on Land M. He's just going to hide with the false promise and get ready to try and turn this team fight. They do go back onto the jug. He'll spin away. Laguna is committed. White Album still alive and still healthy.
Yeah, Omnislash still up though, so I need to respect that. A lot of damage potential coming out of that spell. And there's an Exorcism committed for not a whole lot of reward here for Team Aster. And without that Exorcism, I think Thunder Predator is going to feel very comfortable to take the next team fight.
Still a 5k net worth lead here for Thunder Predator. Roshan just respawning now. Fast they get vision of that Roche. We saw last time how fast they can take it with that tag team. Monet will run into Frank. Frank, Guardian Greaves off the ensnare.
So many
roots. Away, just barely.
Yeah, blessed by Gaben in that moment. But even the power of Gaben is not enough to defeat Frank.
Frank is a tough guy for sure.
Yeah. I've seen him, man. Like, when he stares at you, like, your entire body just freezes. You can't move anymore. Like, I would call myself a pretty big Chad, but even I just froze in place. Could not move.
Frank is scary for sure, Black. Very intimidating. Monet gonna move in. Aegis is gonna be taken by Minos. I want to keep going. Frank, he does have that Rolling Thunder. Gonna catch anyone out. Aster, they're just gonna back off, back to the drawing board, back to farming. It feels like a bit of a similar story to last game almost. BZ, Icarus Dive gonna be cancelled by the Yule Scepter. Still, there is help around, but they're gonna hex him up with a snowball. Great snowball out into the egg. They're going to try and focus this egg down. They'll get it with the Battle Trance. Omni Slash, not going to be too great. It was through the false promise. Monet is going to go for a run as Frank controls up everyone else. Lan M is the one to drop. Under Predator,
for the Phoenix.
They lose a Phoenix, but it doesn't matter. They buy back and they're into the tier 2 top tower.
But just remember, this fight was without Exorcism. So it was a very weak DP, and they still kind of got ahead of this fight. So don't underestimate the team fight once the DP ult is really online. It's gonna deal a ton of damage to all these heroes.
Moose in by himself onto XXS, just gives him the punch. Shards out, he's buying a lot of time, Leo style. He's gonna force staff in now with the Light Strike Array. Laguna.
And they're playing so well in Thunder Predator.
Teams that go up against Thunder Predator, they can't give the Tusk away. This man's too good on this hero.
Just in general, like, they just seem to be feeling themselves right now too hard. Like, the team play is off the charts. They always just supplement each other so well in these fights. They always wait for each other perfectly. Good timing on all their spells. You know, they always play on a very high ping online, kind of like Dragon Ball Z, with those ankle weights, you know, those weighted cloaks. Gravity room.
Or like the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, exactly.
Thunder Predator, they've been training for years. Span of a few months, and you can see the progress. Aster, having no idea what to do about this. Minos just runs up to the tier 2. They're trying to hit him to force him back. He's just not moving. Absolute unit that is Minos.
Yeah, he's really surviving with the Scotty. 2.5k health. They get the tower. Can't really fight into this Juggernaut right now. He's just too tanky. No chance for them to get into the backline.
Absolutely not. You can really see it in the play of Aster. They really just don't seem to have much of a game plan as to how they're going to answer this jug. Or even just the whole team of Thunder Predator.
They cannot initiate. That's the problem. Like, Juggernaut is hitting there, standing there. What can they do? They have nobody that can jump him with a stun. Like, there's just not a whole lot of threat coming out from this Aster itemization / draft here. They can get away with a lot on the Radiant side because of it.
Monet gets a nice ensnare off. Healing ward
Healing
down.
ward, though.
Minos again just spins out.
Yeah. 140 HP per second, by the way.
Mate. Be very cautious. If there is a blink on Moose, he can get the disable instantly. And lock him down with the Light Strike Array follow-up.
Smoke up here by Radiant. Thunder Predator looking potentially to kill someone that's farming the enemy jungle here. Will they find someone? Mad or the DP are two potential targets. DP no BKB yet. He seems to be the one.
Oh, White Album.
Out.
He doesn't want
he's
to die
sniffing
like
it out,
this. Observer ward, Moose. He's going to find him
good
with the
ward.
Observer ward. It gives him enough vision. Now the snowball out. The Warriors punch, the follow-up stun.
All right, Moose, calm
Just
down.
quick thinking.
Calm down, dude. Like, you gotta relax. Like, keep some for the next rounds of the tournament. Like, wow. Chill.
I'm telling you,
that was super
you
quick
can't give him
thinking.
the Tusk.
Don't give him the task and don't let him purchase any observer wards, apparently. Like, he's doing God's work with those as well. Placing a lot of them by
Just don't
himself
let him-
also. Don't let him play
Let him
Dota,
play Dota.
Exactly.
That's it. That's the only answer.
Somebody just rang my bell here, but I'm gonna just ignore it because I'm a Chad. You know, like I answer the door when I want to answer the door.
Yeah, thank you for that, Black Minos. So he's gonna get a few right clicks there from Monet, but not gonna lead to much. Aghanim Scepter coming up very soon on our jug. That's that massive power spike on every Juggernaut. That's the point where it feels like you can't really control him anymore in the fights. Just so much damage output. So many ways of juking you out and making it impossible to lock you down. There's barely any stuns already on Aster to begin with.
I really don't know what the game plan here is for Aster. They just seem to be sitting back. They have been inside their base for the last 5 minutes. And I really don't know how they should get out of base. Like, the only way they can really run in is like DP runs in and it gets Oracle ulted and they somehow start a fight that way. But what if Thunder Predator just runs away? Like, there's literally what they can do. They can just run away because they have no lockdown. No forms of initiation. Like, they must feel so uncomfortable here on Aster.
I imagine so. They're in their base, but not going to feel great. Monet he's trying to get the Abyssal Blade, but it literally feels like the exact same story that we just saw about 40 minutes ago. They are grouped up. Maybe they'll try for a smoke. Just feels like there's no
after the last
objectives to
5
play
minutes,
for.
unfortunately.
Minos. Fuel stop.
Here's
Moose now
Acceptor.
looking to reinitiate. Goes in with the Warriors Punch. They've got the Sunray immediately on deck XS. A Strike Array. Leo style. Holds on to it for now, but does get it off with the Yule Scepter follow-up. Monet. Really can't do much.
Can't catch anyone.
It's the Jug. They can't. They can't lock anyone down.
They're just running around circles. On the Predator, they know exactly that Aster has no way of locking them down, so they're just kind of going in and out, you know, as they please. Now 13k net worth ahead. They're not letting them farm their own jungle. Like, this net worth is just growing every minute. Aster needs to find a way to get out of the base. Like, they need to somehow find a smoke. Just run in, you know? You need to run in, get your DP ult going somehow, and then let the Lion do his work.
They go to the low ground. They are waiting for the Predator very patiently. Matt, he was being down, but there's a swift slash from Minos, and now the Warriors Punch immediately onto the Lion. That is all your disable gone. Frank, he will chase down Monet. False Promise is immediately thrown out, but they just have so much damage. Thunder Predator will find White Album. Battle Trance pop. Monet's trying to fight back, but indeed the guy's here. Thunder Predator just look unstoppable in the GG's
and
call.
GG! Again. Complete outplay 2 games in a row, man. And whoever was doubting Thunder Predator after the Secret game yesterday, whew, it's a rude awakening for you. And also shows how good Secret really are. Thunder Predator this game again. Good draft, good execution. And
Hi, this is Lorenzo from Dota 2 Pro Games. On this channel, every day, we upload Dota games from pros like Arteezy, Paparazzi, Miracle, and many more. If you want to play like them and understand their secrets, consider subscribing to this channel. You will increase MMR in no time. Also, liking this video is free and will help me bring you more and more content. Enjoy the game. Thanks.
Thank you, MLP, for keeping Black in check there as well. I'm here with Lizard and Gods, and yeah, that is Thunder Predator making it through. They are considered top 8 here at the Major. Aster going home. They are eliminated from the Major. And overall, this game, we're going to break it down. It was a bit more close, Gods, than game number 1. Obviously, we saw coming out from Aster a very similar game plan.
Yeah, and the lanes went much better this time around, I think, is where things looked okay for Aster. But then it kind of fell apart in the mid-game. And I think what was most impressive for me and where Thunder Predator pulled away was MNZ's Jug. He's farming Battle Fury, and he's constantly with his team, pushing, fighting. He's not playing this, oh, I'm going to go Battle Fury and just AFK farm solo Dota. He is always there, even though he is going for the farming items.
And I would answer like this. It's a Jug, you have spin, it's easy for you to contribute early on, but he was doing pretty much the same with Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
So it's really to his playstyle. He does it on every single hero, it looks like. But overall, Thunder Predator, extremely strong showing here versus Aster. Can't take anything pretty much away from their game style and gameplay. They can be a little bit aggressive at times, a little bit too greedy at times, but it pays off. Like, they benefit from it quite a bit.
And so often we've seen these kind of quote-unquote underdog teams coming into a tournament do surprisingly well, but then they meet adversity. In this case, they meet Team Secret, drop down, and then sadly they get knocked out. They look like the same Thunder Predator we saw in the group stage. They were not affected by that loss at all.
And me personally, I do come from the DPC CN. I was casting Aster for a really long time, but I'm happy that they're through, because they topped their groups. They did so well. They deserve it.
It's so good for the competitive Dota scene. Right now, you know, regional biases aside, there is such a parity between different regions, like where you have an SA team suddenly in the top 8, and this wasn't even the the number 1 SA team from the DPC leagues. You have the European teams that were hyped up, some of them faltering. We have teams from all regions performing at a high level right now.
It is actually, I can't stress that enough as well. It's so good for Dota as a whole to see Thunder Predator perform the way they are, and they 100% deserve these wins. They have been playing amazingly well, and this has been a joy to watch. On the side of Aster, sure, they're playing with the stand-in, but I must also say maybe a little bit of the game plan, just in general, like the gameplay. Okay, you know, you